All right, let's have some real talk today because I know that some of you out there are showing up, you're doing the workouts, you're eating better, you're trying to get more sleep, but the scale isn't budging and the energy isn't surging. And you might be thinking, what the heck is going on? Why isn't this working for me? Well, I want to tell you about one of my clients, and let's just call her Claire. Now, Claire is a rock star, early 40s, has two kids, full-time job, and she was really committed to taking care of herself again after feeling run down for years. And she was walking every morning, doing some strength training a couple times a week, eating cleaner. And she came to me one day and just said, listen, I feel like I'm doing all the things, but my body just isn't changing. My pants still feel tight and I'm more tired than I expected. What am I missing? And honestly, she really wasn't doing anything wrong. Maybe a little tweak to hydration, making sure she's getting electrolytes, but she really needed to shake things up just a little bit. So if you are someone who has been stuck in a rut, you really want to listen up to this. And that's the exciting thing that we're going to talk about because there's a few fitness hacks that can help to accelerate your progress without spending hours at the gym or doing anything that's extreme. Because here's the thing, our bodies are smart, they adapt, and what worked great at first, well, we might plateau. And that's not failure, that's biology. And that's part of adaptation that our bodies go through. And let's not be discouraged by that. So let's dive into a few changes that helped Claire and could help you as well. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'm Dr. Jamie Krzykowski, athletic trainer, sports nutritionist, and holistic health coach. I don't just coach, I help women over 40 in particular reclaim their God-given vitality. I combine faith, functional science, and fierce strategy to help you balance hormones, burn stubborn fat, boost energy, and finally feel like yourself again without compromising your values or your sanity. So let's talk about hack number one, and that's adding a vibration plate to your routine. Now, this one may sound like a little, I don't know, woo or whatever you want to call it, but the science really is there about this. Vibration plates stimulate rapid, tiny muscle contractions. And yes, they might make the body jiggle a little bit. But the reason that it will stimulate these contractions is that the body is trying to stabilize itself on the plate. Just standing or holding a position on the plate activates more muscle fibers, which increases strength and circulation and can even support lymphatic drainage and our bone density. So with the lymphatic drainage, if you ever feel like your legs feel really heavy or stiff, then even something, well, movement really helps. Getting into water and submerging can help, but getting on a vibration plate, even for 5 minutes, can help your lymphatic system to be able to drain. Now, Claire added the vibration plate to her warm up, about 5 minutes of balance work, barefoot, sometimes holding or lifting weights, and said that her muscles really felt more awake before her actual workout. So you can use it as a part of your warm up. Research really does back this up as well. There was a 2021 study in the Clinical Interventions in Aging journal that found vibration training helped perimenopausal women improve lower body strength and balance significantly more than just your traditional warm-up. So you want to start small, maybe 2 to 5 minutes. Be barefoot, keep your knees nice and soft, don't lock them out. Be mindful of your posture, standing up nice and straight, keeping that core nice and tight. And if you struggle with balance, you probably want to have something next to you, a couch or a chair or something or a wall where you can just touch that in case you lose your balance. And usually there's different modes on these vibration plates. And so you can start out a little bit slower and work your way up to what you're comfortable with. Now, another hack is wearing a weighted vest when you walk. Now, I really like this one. And thinking about just adding something to a walk, whether you're walking the dog or this is something that you do with your kids or whoever, it adds an extra load. You can choose anything from, I think some of the lightest ones are maybe 2 pounds or 4 pounds. And boy, you can add a lot of weight. Now, I would say if you have any knee or hip pain, anything lower body, pain, then you really want to make sure, as always, that you are consulting your healthcare provider before trying anything new, because especially if you're on a medication or have a chronic health condition or something that might be a contraindication for anything here that I'm talking about, this is for educational purposes. This is not to replace any sort of medical advice for you. Now, going back to the weighted vests, adding this load can help to build strength as well as some endurance, because adding some extra weight will give you a greater challenge. And with that, when you're doing body weight sort of exercises, again, it's adding some weight. So you could start out with 2 extra pounds. You could go up to 30 extra pounds eventually if you want to. Your muscles will have to work a little harder, and your heart rate goes up just enough to boost the cardiovascular stress, which can be a benefit for you. And it all happens without pounding the joints. There was a study in the Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research that showed that walking with a light-weighted vest improved your VO2 max, and that's your oxygen carrying capacity. Basically, how intense can you perform exercise? And it helped with fat loss in overweight individuals without increasing injury risk. So this is a really important benefit. Start with about 5 to 10% of your body weight. So if you are 150 pounds, then maybe a 7 to 15 pound vest, but you definitely don't want to overdo it. Only a couple of sessions per week. And like I said, always check with your healthcare provider. But also, if you have been sedentary, just get out and walk before you are adding any sort of extra weight to your body. Hack number 3 is go slower and steeper on the treadmill. Now, this is where we can see people really have these big aha moments, because let's say you're walking on the treadmill, maybe at a 3.5 speed, and something like that, or it's harder to measure outside when you are walking outdoors. So I'll just use a treadmill example because it's easier to quantify it. But if you are consistently walking at a 3.5 speed and you're never increasing the intensity or the incline, then your body will adapt to that in a short period of time, and then you won't get as many benefits from it. That's the adaptation process. So if we slow down just a little bit, let's say if you're normally walking at about a 3.5, and then you slow down a little bit and put the incline up, then you're going to give your body a different sort of challenge. And your heart rate, trust me, will go up. You'll also be working the glutes and the hamstrings. They'll become more engaged. And the core and posture, well, that's going to have to work a little bit harder as well, because now at the incline, you naturally lean forward just a little bit. Now, your treadmill might not be able to go to 12%. My treadmill goes to 15%, whatever works for you. And you don't have to stay at that incline for a long period of time. You could increase the incline for about 30 seconds and then decrease it back down. Whatever it is that works the best for you. Now, walking on an incline also recruits some other muscles, and it's like I mentioned, especially with the posture, because of that leaning forward, as well as our glutes, calves, hamstrings, and our back. And for anyone, this is really important, but especially women over 40, this is really good for you. Now, a bonus, according to a 2020 study in Medicine and Science in Sport and Exercise, found that walking on an incline increased calorie burn and muscle recruitment significantly more than flat surface walking. And even at a slower pace, this benefit occurred. So don't be afraid to slow down and level it up a bit. Hack number 4, weighted carries or farmer walks. Now, we can add some short bursts of weighted carries, and it's as simple as grabbing a couple of dumbbells and walking slowly back and forth. This sort of move hits your grip, your shoulders, your core, your glutes, and even your posture. If you want something simple that delivers big results, then this really does get your heart rate up because of adding that extra resistance to those arms. Just try 2 to 3 sets of 30 to 60 seconds of carrying when you're in your workout. Maybe you're on a treadmill or something, and have those weights. They do not need to be huge weights. They can be 5 pounds, 8 pounds. If you are just starting out, maybe you're using 1-pounders. That's okay. It doesn't matter where you start. It just matters that you start. And then you're holding those, using those for 30 to 60 seconds. They shouldn't be huge weights, so you should be able to put them on the treadmill or somewhere safe so that you can put them down and pick them up to be able to use them in these sorts of intervals. Now, you can also carry something around the house if you want to, or think about some of the chores and different things that you might do, such as vacuuming. If you are always using your dominant arm to vacuum, then switch and use your other arm. Things like that, just again, it can get your heart rate up and it's going to give you some natural functional strength training as well. Hack number 5 is combine movements. Think about these compound movements that are combined, that instead of just single move exercises, say a bicep curl, we want to combine it with something else so that we are working more parts of the body and it also is going to be a little more functional. Now, I do have a different YouTube video for fitness over 40, and it's more about strength training and high intensity interval training. So you'll want to check that out for some more details there. But this hack is something that when you have a combination movement, so you do a squat to an overhead press, when you have a lunge and a lateral raise, or a glute bridge with a chest press, those are things that then you're combining your movements and you're getting a little more bang for your buck, and it can make a big difference in your workouts. The compound movements will engage more muscle groups and it improves coordination, and you'll burn more calories in less time, which who doesn't love that? Now, yes, there's research for this too. Compound exercises stimulate more growth hormone and calorie burn, and they can help to improve functional strength. So that means you're not just working out, you're training for life, which is so important. Now, when we think about all of these things, these work because of muscle memory and adaptation. And your body is always adapting. It's how we're designed. This is how we become more efficient, responsive, and built to survive. So when we do the same thing over and over, our muscles and our metabolism, they just learn to go, oh, it's 7 a.m. and it's time for our casual 30-minute walk. And the body's just like, oh, we know what to do because this is how things normally are. But when we make these small shifts, like adding in some resistance, changing our terrain, or stimulating new muscle fibers, then we can give the body a reason to re-engage and respond. And we'll see some benefits from that. Now, again, as with anything new, especially if you have health concerns or you're on any medications or you haven't been active in a while, please check with your healthcare provider before starting anything. Safety first, always. These hacks are really powerful, but your health is priority number 1. So here's your challenge today. Try something new this week if you need to check with your healthcare provider. So here's the thing. If you are healthy and you have been cleared to do this, I want you to try something new this week. Just one thing. Maybe it's a steeper incline on the treadmill, or maybe you're walking in your neighborhood and there's some flat spots and there's some hills. Then maybe choose the hillier walk, or go up and down the same hill out back of your house or something like that multiple times. Maybe it's a weighted walk. Maybe it's standing on a vibration plate for the first time and feeling like your teeth might chatter out. Maybe it's standing on a vibration plate for the first time and feeling how that's stimulating so many of the muscles within your body. Whatever it is, shake it up. Give your body a new challenge and see how it responds. And if you want more tips, examples, and full breakdowns of how to apply these things, then I invite you to look at my other videos on my YouTube channel, like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share this with someone else who may benefit from it. I go deeper in many of my videos into so many different aspects of health and wellness because holistic health is so important. So fitness isn't necessarily about doing more. Depending on what you're training for, fitness could mean just doing something a little bit differently and adding in one of these hacks where now our bodies are being challenged in ways that will help them to adapt and we'll see better results. So let's make these upcoming weeks where not only do we feel stronger, but we are more energized, we're more resilient, and feeling great about ourselves and our bodies. Thanks for hanging out with me. Go try something new this week and let me know what you think. I'll see you soon.